All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own research and form your own opinions. This video will release this coming Saturday as promised. I'm going to try and get at least two videos a week. And as we progress, as the viewers grow, hopefully some subscribers grow as well. I'll continue to produce more content and kind of change things up a little bit to your liking. So, with that said, if there is something that you guys suggest, or maybe a reaction video that you wanted me to do, something like that, leave it in the comment section below. No matter how big this channel grows, guys, I'm going to respond to every single comment. So, definitely make sure you utilize that comment section, like, subscribe the video. As mentioned in the previous video, I did work several years in a car dealership, several car dealerships. I was more on the concierge sales, so friends and family of the owners. So I wasn't one of the sharks chasing people down. And I just covered briefly how at the dealership, how a lot of people, that's not their thing. They don't like going to the dealership and kind of the ins and outs. However, I also want to make this video because there is an opportunity right now, as you're going to see in this video, with the market the way it is, those that who are able to buy, you could get heavily discounted cars, maybe get a little bit more on your trade-ins if you're trading in a good used car. So there definitely is some positives to it. Of course, my personal experience in the car dealerships, I really want to see change in that industry. I stepped away because I got to see a lot of the negative as far as people putting, customers in cars that really they couldn't afford or should not be in. They end up with buyer's remorse. And at the end of the day, they didn't really care. That was a sale. And a lot of these people who, at these dealerships in particular, who did really well, that was a common practice of, yeah, let's just get them in a car. And, those of you who worked in a dealership, that's what they're going to say. Just put them in a car. You know what I mean? Or if not, you have the manager chasing them down the road to try and get them in some car that they shouldn't be in the first place, instead of changing this system to really tailor it to what this person needs. Can they afford it? What the use is, and really a detailed kind of situation to where it's going to benefit the consumer. Whereas not just to me, or robbing somebody just for your benefit, that never made sense. And I did want to point out one other thing too. If you do take advantage of these benefits that you're going to see in this video, and you do, decide to go to that dealership, I want you to think about something. I remember when I was a salesman, someone would always come in and sit down, and they would think that us salesmen were just making an extreme amount of money. And I've sold everything as far as a $30,000 car all the way up to, at the time, a $200,000 Acura NSX. So I've been there, sold them all. And I would always get a customer saying, or at least thinking, that, oh, this salesman, he must be making a ton of money. And I gotta tell you guys, that is so far from reality, at least here in Florida. If you live somewhere else and your sales team is doing really well, that's great too. I want to know. Comment and let me know. But I could tell you, working at several with other salespeople who've come from all different dealerships across the country, it was kind of the same story. A lot of them, especially here in Florida, is on a bucket system commission. And where if you don't sell a certain amount of cars, you kind of owe the company for that month. And then what happens is at the end of the month, that paycheck is gone. Some of them now have changed, I think, for retention purposes, because they were realizing, oh, we need some incentive to keep people here. Because those of you who've been in that position, you're working long hours. Your first day of the month, you're there all day long. Last day of the month, you're there all day long. holidays, I remember doing, 80-hour weeks was normal in dealerships. And some of these other sales guy who just, in my opinion, they knew the vehicles well. They just the company didn't really advertise as well that month, and you're not doing too great. And then next thing you know, you owe the company your check. And then, 2, 3 months, you're gone. That's why the turnaround time is extremely high, and I really want to point that out because a lot of people have this in their mind that these salesmen are just banking and doing so well. And that's not to say that some are not doing well. They are, but very, very few and far in between. Most of them, are sometimes even less than minimum wage. If you look at the amount of hours they put in, maybe less than minimum wage. If you have a sale, you're probably going in on your day off, because you don't wanna have to split that sale. So a lot of different things happen. So I just want you as the consumer, if you're in the market, you're gonna take advantage of these, discounts right now, to just think that these salesmen, they are not making a lot of money. To be fair with you, in the dealerships I was in anyway, it was $150 was your upfront base on a car. Yes, of course, in the back end, you might get a little something here and there. But this was around 2017, I want to say. Uh, and the consumer started to do more research. You had TrueCar and other resources out there to where they were making smarter decisions and eliminating some of that back end unnecessary stuff. So there goes your commission there. So there's a lot of times where you were just getting a flat 150. I would sell, $65,000 car and 150 bucks. Just think about that for a second. $65,000 and you're getting $150. It just never made sense to me. That's why I decided to step away from that industry, but I still want to share with you all that experience because to me that is not a way living to, and I get it, some people have to go in there and do what they got to do to keep the money flowing to pay the bills, and that's understandable if that's your situation. But for me, from a moral standpoint, that's not something I want to be part of. And I went to corporate America shortly after, and I've been there ever since. And not to say that that's so much better, but at least it's not, face to face with someone knowing that you're doing this for a paycheck. That just wasn't right to me. So if you're a salesman, and you're experiencing, a similar situation, I'm not sure if these practices are still the same. Definitely share with me in the comment section because I'm curious to see what you guys think. With that, we're going to get into today's video.
Just in case you don't watch the news, here's the 3 things you must do in this car market crash. Thing number 1, there's massive discounts out there. These vehicles are sitting and sitting and sitting, and you are going to get up to 40% off. Here's how you're going to
Be careful with that too. We don't know how long they've been sitting. Of course, it'd be rumor mill, but I did hear some are sitting for, 6 months or so on these lots. Just be careful with that.
do that. You're going to go to Car Gurus, you're going to go to Car Edge, you're going to find the vehicle you want, you're going to see how long it's been sitting there, because guess what? The vehicles that have been sitting the longest, those are the ones getting the most massive discounts. Thing number 2, when that finance guy pulls you back to the dungeon and does all the paperwork with you, those warranties, yeah.
It's pretty funny when it pulls you back to the dungeon. I could definitely see people saying that. They always hated that going in the back. Let's continue here.
Those warranties are negotiable. Never, ever pay full price for a dealership warranty. They can be great, but you are going to get it for half of what they're trying to sell you that warranty for. And thing number 3 is your financing. If you're looking for a deal, don't pay cash, because if you're paying cash, the dealership has no incentive.
I just wanted to stop him there because that is pretty funny. I had a lot of people that would come in and be like, "I got cash and I want a discount." And hey, if you want a discount, finance with us was how it went. I know it used to be, cash, you get major discount, whatever it may be. That ain't the case anymore. They don't care. They want you to finance through them. So that's how it works.
to work with you. Come in with your own financing. Use a credit union, but even better than that, go to the manufacturer, Mazda, Toyota, Ford, whoever it is you want to work with. Go to their website, fill out the pre-approval form, get pre-approved with that 0 to 2% financing that's going on right now, and you take that to the dealership because most dealers will mark up the rate on the back end.
That's a great tip. That is so true. Once you have it, hey, this is my rate. This is how much I have. You show up to the dealership. If you don't watch the whole video, that's something you want to take with you. If you're in the market, you're the one looking for a car, there you go. There is plenty of, credit unions that'll give you that. And again, you'd have to check the rates. They could vary, but very low rate compared to probably what they would tack on in that back end and send you home with. So just something to consider. But all right, guys, with that said, leave me a comment. Let me know if you experienced this before. If you're a current salesman, I definitely want to know. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.